Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. There was an interview with Chris Roberts by MCV where they talked about the community, the development of the game, recruitment and delays. This video is a summary of that interview, links below. I'm going to compress and try and paraphrase Chris's words as best as I can in regards to immersion. Letting people exist in this virtual world is one of the priorities for us. If I'm in the pilot seat of a ship and someone's in the turret and I'm like, get that guy on the right, by the time I've typed that, he's not there anymore. So you can use TeamSpeak or Discord, but what we're trying to do is put this into the world and make it easy to access. So I'm wandering around the station and I meet you and I can just say hello. It adds a lot of sense of what's going on with adventuring with my friends. One of the big goals of Star Citizen is to allow that. And we're quite focused on how players can communicate, talk and interact together because we're trying to build this online game, and that's going to last for a long time. In regards to community feedback, there is a problem online in that a small number of people can over-amplify their voice, which can distort the feedback. They trample over other people's opinions. Read everything, see everything, but don't take things personally. I only respond if something resonates with me. People have supported me to make this game, they haven't supported me to make your game. In some ways, the big data is more powerful than individual comments. The comments give you colour. With the big data, you can see who's playing, what area of the game they're in, what ships they're using. We can absolutely see who's playing, who's registered, who's downloading, and also who's on our website. We know how many registered accounts we have. We actually look at the forums and how many actually comment as well. We're more focused on events now as well. So we can interact with the community at Gamescom or PAX, and we're much more fan-driven. That's our model, direct to the gamers and interacting with them, no middle people. It's nice to have feedback in person. People tend to be nicer when they're not on the internet. In regards to emergent gameplay, we're really focusing on systemic design. That should create emergent behaviour for a lot of things. It's about giving the players the tools to do whatever they want to do. That's one of our mantras, to build the systems and give the tools to the players. And yes, we'll put some design content in, but we also want them to drive it. It's the only way for a world like this to work. Otherwise, you can't feed it with enough content. In regards to release dates and delays, I get quite frustrated with people looking at it through the prism of yesterday's game business. A game like Star Citizen doesn't have a release date. What it does have is us saying it's going to be at least this and probably going to grow features beyond this. And while we're building it, you can play it. Normally, the reason why people hold on to the release date is because that's when I can play it. But you can already play Star Citizen now. You can't play the Star Citizen that it will be, but you can play everything that we've got to a level that we feel comfortable letting the external world play. We're happy with what the big feature set is. We're working with all the bits that can tie it together. One of the main goals of the game is to allow people to properly do things together. Except it's all first person in an incredibly high detail and a AAA game. You can get into a small ship, a big ship with other people, a massive capital ship, fly from planet to planet and do all these things. It's a huge level of both scale and fidelity. One of the reasons it's taken so long is that we're going for a Sims level of AI. If you're doing an FPS campaign, then there's some AI, but it's combat AI and the actions are scripted. With us, our planets orbit and rotate around stars. There's night and day cycles, so AI will have their schedules and you should be able to populate a farmer and he'll be able to get up in the morning, go to his field, eat some lunch and go back to work. It's all very systemic. That kind of AI takes much longer to build and have work. In regards to development costs, staff and the company setup, we try to be quite smart about our development costs. So we do a lot of work in the UK and 2/3 of our development is in Europe. It's far more cost effective. In Europe, you could have 2 developers for the cost of 1 in the US. And this is partly due to the price of living. We're up in Manchester and it's a lot cheaper to live there than in LA, for example. The average salaries in the industry are less for that reason. And we basically get a 25% cost of the development from the UK government back, and that allows us to hire more people. We wouldn't have as big an office in the UK if that wasn't the deal. I think that was a very good move for the government to do that as well, because now we have around 250 in the UK, by far our biggest group of people. In regards to hiring the StarEngine team, or a lot of them like Brian Chambers and people, they talked about, we started hiring a couple of years ago, and when they did the deal with Amazon, and in this particular case, some of the core people that had been there for a long time were looking for something else. Bethesda was trying to recruit them, Epic were trying to recruit them, and we thought, well, we're not going to poach from Crytek, but if those guys are leaving no matter what, then we'd rather have them working for us and in our ecosystem. We've got this philosophy of going that where the talent is, rather than making the talent come to you. There's a lot of people that are world class, but you only get to see a fraction of them to move to Manchester or Los Angeles, or where we've got a studio. So now they've got a studio in Frankfurt with some great talent, which was really needed. And that was kind of it for that interview. I thought it had some quite interesting tidbits. I didn't want to try and truncate it and compress it too much. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. There was also an interview with Tony Z about Star Citizen's economy by WCCF Tech. From Adrian Ip, that goes over some of the influences that might go into the game's economy. There was also a German article that suggests there'll be at least 20 minutes of Squadron 42 gameplay in the December live stream, but they say that's from dubious sources, although I'm actually expecting to see a longer section of gameplay personally from Squadron 42 Episode 1, that long, elusive vertical slice. I've linked all those articles, including the one we just talked about, below. Every month we give away a ship as well, so for November it's the massive Pioneer base building ship donated by our featured org, the Matadors. Links below if you're looking for a outlaw group to join that's going to be active in 3.0, and it's active now. All you need to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my Star Citizen videos during this month to be in for a chance of winning that Pioneer. Do you have any questions about Alpha 3.0, about the article that we just read, about Star Citizen's development in general, or anything that you'd like to see appear in an FAQ or something? A special thank you to my Patreons who allow me to create the amount of content I do. Thank you so much, guys. I've got that referral randomizer and recruitment randomizer all set up now, so that's something I can say thank you to you guys for. I'm going to start to be a lot more on the Patreon stuff because you've given me so much, so thank you so much. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and I'll see you in the verse.